No.
a pee.
What? Yo,
No,
what are you
I hope this wasn't.
saying?
I hope this did not go live. I hope so. Oh my god.
He sure
Okay.
did.
No, it
Are we
didn't.
live?
This is a tea in a. I'm not
We
gonna
are live.
advertise on a. This is French water, originated of the French water, mineral water
Don't
bottle.
advertise it unless you
But
are getting
I
paid for it,
know
right?
I'm not. We're not being paid. We're not. We're not being paid to advertise that. But I
Hell
made
no.
some. As I was telling you with my little mishap at the gym, I'm drinking some fennel tea that are a good support for
Can you repeat that one more time?
lymphatic system. What?
You said, what did you say?
I say this is fennel tea.
Fennel. Oh, I thought I
Fennel,
heard something.
fennel. Yes,
I
like
thought I
the
heard some.
vegetable.
I thought I heard something illegal.
What is illegal?
You know
Like
what? Let's not even
fentanyl?
take it there. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. We are
It's
live on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. So good morning, folks. How are you feeling
Oh
today?
God,
Gigi, we missed you last week, by the way.
I
I had to do
know.
it all by myself.
Oh, you were able to handle it beautifully. It was it's
Thank you.
good. You see, and I got like, and I seen the boys club come out. I've seen one agent saying, "Yo, bro, hit me up. Let's do my podcast next week." I'm like, oh, here we go, typical male chauvinist.
Ah, come on. Shout out to my boy Brian the Gold. That's who it was actually. We set up
Yeah,
we actually did a
are you
podcast.
doing that? Are you
We
doing the
did it
podcast?
already. We did it. We filmed
Oh,
it. He's
that's
gonna
nice.
edit it. It
Oh,
was
I
cool,
was
man. We had a
not
good
even
time.
invited to listen to. Oh God, here we
Yo,
go.
so
Is
he
it
took us on a
because
tour. Hold on, he took us on a tour of this new development because that's where we went
okay?
to, and it was sick. It's right off. It's like right off of. Where do I put it? It's like right by the Bell Parkway, but you
Yeah,
can
in
overlook the
Bensonhurst.
Verrazano.
Yeah,
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 you
I've
can
seen that.
overlook the Verrazano.
I've seen this. I've seen this
You know what caught me off
development.
guard? The fact that there was townhouses on top of a condominium building.
Yes, yes,
That was crazy.
yes,
So you have an
yes,
option. You could buy a condo or you can buy
yes,
a
yes,
townhouse, which was pretty
yes,
cool.
yes,
So sick. I
yeah,
took photos and videos.
yes.
I will be putting a reel together. So if you want some more information about that, hit me up.
So it's nice that I was not in. Is that because I'm not part of the same brokerage?
What? First
But
of
it's
all,
okay because
you know what
I
happened?
saw that anyway because I met with the developer anyhow.
It has nothing to do with that. But
Yes, it does.
we missed you last week, by the way, Gigi. So has nothing to do with that.
I'm being like a prima donna right now.
It sounds like it.
I know.
Sounds like
I just wanted to see how it feels. You know,
that's hilarious.
I'm dealing with agents that do that to me all day long. So I'm like, let me just do it to it.
Wow. Yo, agents, if you're watching this, you will know that she's talking about you. Look at this. I'm trying to figure out which side my hair is coming out.
I know. And I had like a case of Slash, Slash the guitarist. So
Wow. Where's your
I'm
top
like,
hat?
it's just,
Where's your top hat? All right,
just
stop it. Cut it out.
all right. So today is a serious topic, guys. Serious. Very serious.
Super
And I've
serious.
had a lot of questions from my crew and talking to other agents who have no idea what's going on. I don't know if you guys are aware. There was a law that was passed at the end of last September by our wonderful governor. Pause. And it was voted that the property condition disclosure caveat we had until now, where the sellers, we were disclosing to them that there was a property condition disclosure, but they were not obligated to fill it up, and in return they would have to pay a $500 penalty or give a $500 credit to buyers, at closing. As
Yes.
of that law was
Hold
voted.
on, real quick, Gigi. I'm sorry. So I know you mentioned that. But if there's some viewers that are tuning in that maybe don't have a real estate background, maybe they're looking to purchase, maybe if they're looking to buy, what does this mean exactly? Because this is a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it is. It is
I
bigger than
I've
that.
seen this in other states, but I've never seen it here. And now that they're announcing this starting March 20th, that's gonna be crazy.
So
Um,
no, it's. I mean, it's not. Look, I've been in real estate for 259 years now,
what the
and
fudge?
in the early 2000s, that's when they came up with that property condition disclosure. And to tell you frankly, I had one, and I think when they first put it out, there was no $500 credit option given to the sellers. So I think I had one seller who wanted to fill out the stuff and give it, and his attorney let it do it, and thank God it went fine.
Mhm.
But that
Yeah, yeah.
property condition disclosure was a lot of questions, and we're going to talk about the new one that has even more questions. And sellers have to fill it, and actually there are more than 30 states in the United States that are following this law. Whereas a seller, you need to disclose certain things, either material defects or condition of the property and condition of certain elements of the property.
Okay, so quick
Until
question.
yes,
I'm a seller.
yes,
I'm looking to sell my property. Back then, I used to fill out a form. I didn't have to give you any property information like disclosure. It was just, hey,
yeah,
here's a $500 credit. I sign
listed
it.
in
You agree that you
houses,
accept it. The attorneys
yes,
have it.
yes,
Blah.
yeah.
Now, as far as disclosing, what does that mean exactly? Like, if I did work to the property along the years, like if you know if there was some upgrades that we did,
Well,
if
the questions are simple. If you know, it's basically I don't even know if I should put the. Let me present and give you an idea of. Let me share my screen. Oh, do I have proper? I don't. Can I do the window or the windows, not the tab? No. Can I do my entire screen? But this is not gonna work unless I. This is kind of weird. I don't know how I'm gonna. I have a PDF.
it's
Anyway,
fine.
right. It's fine. Let me just cancel that. So you have a whole set of questions that are let me just open up the property condition disclosure. So it's the old questionnaire that we had, but usually what we did, all we did as agent was just have a notice, like like just telling the sellers there is a property condition disclosure that exists. What you do with it is basically up to you. And then we had the buyers sign the property condition disclosure notice and say, here there is a property condition disclosure, and
Yeah.
most likely the seller is not going to sign it and he's going to give you a credit. That's what it was in a nutshell, right? So now you
Okay.
still have the same. It's going to have questions, like I'm going to give you an example. How long have you owned the property? Usually you know that,
Mhm.
and we have property records to show when you own it. And then you have questions with a multiple choice answer, like they give you a question and the choice of answers are either yes or no, unknown, or not available. And
Hmm.
from those 56 questions nowadays, is there, like some of the last questions, are there any known material defect in any of the following plumbing system? I mean, if your plumbing is working, normally it's no, I don't know any known material defect. If you don't know, you're like, no, I don't know. It's everything works fine. If of course you're gonna have a multi-family house, and then you're gonna have a violation from your tenants claiming they don't have any heat. I don't know, once it's going to come up on title, the title company say, hey, there is a violation for no heat and stuff like that. And you said in your property condition disclosure that there was no problem with the plumbing system, or the heater or whatever. So that might raise questions. So those stuff like that. Those are the new questions. This property condition disclosure does not stop a contract to be an as-is contract. Ed, by the way, you can still do an as-is contract with this, like
Okay.
you've been doing in Florida or whatever, right?
That
It's
was gonna be my
just
next question.
yeah.
So
That
it's
was the
really
big
just
thing.
disclosing is really just disclosing
What you know as the seller.
anything you know. So anything before you purchase the home, you don't really have to know if you made any upgrades to the changes of the home when you were living there. That's the information that you have to disclose when you go
Right.
to sell that
Or
property.
what you know from the time you bought the house. And again, so this is for us, and for us, so we our job is to really
Mm,
deliver that property disclosure to the seller and say, Mr. Seller, this is the property condition disclosure. Now you have no choice but
yeah.
to fill it out. Okay, we're an attorney state. My advice to you, Mr. Seller, is this has to be filled out before we enter into a contract of sale. So my advice to you, Mr. Seller, would be to fill that at your leisure and pretty soon secure an attorney so you can go over that property condition disclosure, because I can't give you any legal advice. And then this way, by the time we're going to have an offer go to contract, there won't be any delay, because that thing takes about an hour to fill, at least an hour.
Mm.
All right. And then it doesn't apply
How
to every
many
property.
how many pages does it have?
This has, I didn't
Oh
calculate,
my God. The fact
a
that you're
lot of pages.
laughing,
Huh?
the fact that you're laughing.
It has a lot of pages. Hold on. It's too many. I don't know why I don't have one. I never print anything. 7 pages, yes. Seven.
Nice.
7 pages of question. All that because we have seven added questions on flood zone disclosure, and so on and so forth.
Mm,
But
seven.
otherwise it was 6 pages or something like that. So they've been adding pages over the years. And that's why we need to have our sellers give that to the attorney. But good news, it doesn't apply to certain properties.
Mm.
You know what it applies to?
Condos, one
No,
to four.
no condos. That's how, no,
Really?
no condos. 1 to 4 family. And
What?
yes, no condos.
I thought only
No,
co-ops were excluded.
no condos, because you can't know about the boiler of the building. You're not going to have access to the boiler of the building.
But don't condos usually have their own separate? I've seen condos have
It
their own
doesn't, the
separate.
law, okay. It applies to 1 to 4 family house, with
Mm.
exceptions. It does not apply to condos. It does
I
not
know.
apply to co-ops.
Yeah, that I know.
Yeah, it doesn't apply to vacant land, obviously. Okay, it's residential real property improved by 1 to 4 family dwelling.
What
And
about
then
commercial properties?
from that, it does not apply to those estate sales. If an executor of an estate is selling the property, there is no need for property condition disclosure. If there is a
Mm.
case of selling a property due to divorce, anything, anyway, any transfer pursuant to a court order, anything that has to do with the court deciding that this has to be sold, there is the property condition disclosure is exempt from being filled at this point. All right,
Mm.
foreclosures, no property condition disclosures.
Interesting.
From transfer to a spouse or linear descendant, their children. No,
Mm.
because it doesn't. It's not only transfer. It's everybody transfer, whether there is a real estate agent or not. Transfer between spouses or former spouses, if in case of divorce. Um, if there is a trust in place, a trust and a trustee selling the property, no need to do the property condition disclosure. If there is a short sale, same thing, same thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so it's not too much to worry about, and luckily the
It's not too
sellers have to
much.
fill out that form, not us.
You know what is the most worried for the agents that have been advising? And we discussed that a while back. Is a lot of agents are overzealous, and this is the most objection had with that. But my sellers would want me to sit down with them and fill up the form with them. It is strongly advised by NISAR, by NAR, by Long Island Board of Realtor to not fill out the form with your seller. You actually want to remove that level of liability. You don't want to be liable for um, for participating in giving out wrongful information. Understand? Because like they
Correct.
fill up the stuff, they give it to the, let's say it's the worst case, seller fills up the forms, attorney barely reviews it. I'm not saying this will happen. Give it to the buyer party. Buyer looks at it and seeing that everything say unknown, 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 and it goes back to the seller attorney. Seller attorney speaks to the seller, and seller says, "Oh, I filled it up with Gigi." Yeah, yeah, no, no,
That's when you drop
yeah.
the ice cream. You're like, oh,
I'm
okay.
like, no, 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 no. Let them handle it themselves.
That's
All
why I
you have to
said,
do is make sure they're aware.
luckily,
The good thing
luckily, we don't
is
have to
that
fill that out.
property. What is it?
I said, thankfully, we don't have to fill that out, which is good.
No, but the good thing is also for property condition disclosure before the contract is signed, they could be revised. And let's say something you sign the contract, and then
Mhm.
something happens, like a big meteorite just falls off the skies and just falls on the house.
It can
You
happen.
actually, between the contract signed and the closing, you're still able to revise that. The seller is able to revise that a property condition disclosure, because
Interesting.
shit happened. It's a big hole in the roof. And we had to file an insurance claim. We're going to patch up the roof and close the roof before closing. But, things like that could happen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's happened.
yeah. Mm.
So that's interesting. So luckily, I mean, I guess with that form that's coming in, it's just, I mean, at the end of the day, it's protecting the buyer. Clearly, it's protecting whoever's going in, protecting the property, preserving. I guess they said, is that what it is? It's kind of like,
And they wanted to remove the buyer beware caveat in selling the property because they felt there was no protection for the buyer, which in a sense I do understand. And this is not the first states that is doing that. I'm thinking I was reading 35 states have applied that law. So what I don't think is going to change. The only thing is, and this is an assumption, and that, yeah, I'll make that assumption. I think attorneys fees will be raised because they'll have to do more work. Yeah,
ooh,
but okay, it's an extra that $500 that was credited. It's gonna go back at that extra hour and a half of work. That's gonna be that $500 probably increase because attorneys are gonna see that it takes a lot of work. You're gonna have to sit down with that seller. If, like, let's say they're in a flood zone, they're in Hamilton Beach, they cannot answer that they don't know if they live in a flood zone.
they have to answer. Yeah, of
They
course,
know they live in a flood zone. On top
of
of it,
course.
if they had like couple of claims on their insurance for flooding, because that's been happening lately, and they say no, nothing ever happened. No, come on, please. All right.
Can't. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely don't want to do that. Then you can get sued.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't want to get sued. And now the I've been reading on at the New York State Bar Association website, and this is what a
Mm.
lot of. That's why I'm trying to wait and see how this is going to pan out. I'm glad I'm not an attorney, because there is a lot of questions being raised. Like how many lawsuits will be filed until they get. I'm sure. I mean, those attorneys are going to figure out a way to make this work.
Of course.
Yeah.
Don't they all?
Yes. Yes, they do. They do. But again, I mean, like I'm seeing a whole trend of lobbying for the consumer. I'm like, all this is happening, election year, who's in charge at New York State? Am I am I a conspiracy theorist? Or is this or are we doing this?
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
start to change the word conspiracy theorist to a
to what? Or
realist
like
theorist.
what is compliant? What is the new correct, politically correct term?
Uh, a realisaurus
Yeah,
instead of a conspiracy theorist. You're a
I'm a
realisaurus. I
realtor.
don't even know what to
No,
call
I'm
it.
just trying to see. I'm like, this is really apropos. This is happening right now. I mean, March
Yeah.
2024, that gives us enough time pre-election. And then I'm like, okay.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
about should I say how about the fact that the CDC now announced COVID to be compared to a regular cold?
Oh, I'm not.
I mean, I
I
don't want
am
to
not.
say I
I
told you
am.
so.
No, 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 no. Because I okay. I'm not a. I. I've. I don't want to say it because some people are gonna hate me. Um.
Don't worry about it. Be about it. Come on, Gigi.
I don't. You see, to me, there are different time or different type of flu bacteria and flu viruses, and to me from the get-go, of course it is lethal to people that have underlying medical conditions and so on and so forth.
Mm.
I never contracted coronavirus ever. So, and I'm like, and I think
I
there is a minority of people that got it, or everybody got it, and I'm
I
part of the
drank.
minority. I mean,
I remember drinking Corona in 2020 in the summertime. I remember. Oh, hold on. I had a listing in
not you
Corona.
said Corona. You're the
I had a
listing.
listing in Corona. In Corona.
Now,
I
Jan,
don't
you're
think
being
I've ever
silly. This
contracted
is like,
the.
this is insane. Okay, guys, you know what I'm saying. But I'm like, yes, now it's considered. I mean, like, but nobody talked about those epidemics of Ebola and other, what was it? This other stuff they had in Africa. I mean, those
I,
crazy
I
bacterial
saw the
diseases as
documentary.
well. And nobody
I saw.
cared. And you know what? I'm going to be political now. Nobody cared because it was in Africa, and that's the sad truth. Y-
Nobody cared because it wasn't happening to them. That's what you got to say.
Exactly. But you see, this is what is sad
I
and,
know.
and unfair, and this is what I will. And I don't care if I'm making some people not very happy. But let's be real right here. If it doesn't
This
affect
is
us,
this is real estates unwrapped, huh?
exactly,
Come on now.
exactly. So anyway, so that
Well,
property condition disclosure, people get be aware is there. Check out your board of realtor, and they're providing a little bit of guidance on this. Um, and my advice is, do not post this as an attachment to your listing. Do not give it right away to the buyer's agent. Let the attorney handle it, and they'll, like, since it's just happening right now, some people won't even be giving that property condition disclosure because they have no clue. I've been speaking to many agents that have no clue this is even happening.
yeah. I
So,
think
uh,
I like what you said, leaving it to the attorney,
yeah,
but I think as professionals we should be aware. As professionals, we should have an understanding of how this works.
yeah.
Um, and honestly, for me, I would actually I would have that in a casual conversation with them to make them aware that this is going to come up, and then if anything, point them in the direction to their attorney.
Right. I mean, what you have to just say when you go to a listing appointment is, look, that $500 credit that you've heard you would get for property condition disclosure is that no longer applies, and now you're going to have to fill up that nice property condition disclosure, Mr. or Mrs. Seller. And here it is. I'm going to give it to you to review, and please hire an attorney as soon as possible. If you need recommendations, I can email you a list of attorneys I've been working with, trust
Yep,
and appreciate. And this is where working with a real estate attorney is going to be very important,
100%,
right?
100%.
Because you're gonna have to be like have. I'm not saying there is a specialization. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have to gonna have to be. That's gonna have to be more. You're gonna have to hire someone who has more of a specialty in real estate than what we call that, like antitrust law,
Mm,
right? That would be helpful.
sure
Anyway,
would.
so yes, so the one question on that on LIBOR was like, does the property condition disclosure need to be uploaded to MLS? Answer is no. Okay, do not, when you give that property condition disclosure to the seller, leave it
Mm.
blank. Okay, and it can also be provided electronically or hard copy. Um, And if your client has questions about that property condition disclosure, what would you do? Ed? You would?
I'd say no hablo inglés.
You said
No, no,
that
no,
to
no.
the attorney. Je ne parle pas anglais. Non, non, non,
Eh,
non, non, non.
see,
And then, and then, if that seller fails, everything is in the hands of the attorneys, you know.
100%.
And then, question is, do I keep a copy of that property condition disclosure? The
Hell
answer is
yeah.
also no.
Hell, what? I would keep a copy of it. Not 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 after I sell it.
There
I
is
would
no
keep it.
requirement for you as an agent to keep that property condition disclosure. Why
What if
would
it
you
gets
want to have
lost?
extra paper?
I'm not trying to save it. I'm just trying to save it onto my desktop. I don't need the paper. I could be
This
paper
is no
less.
requirement. Why
All right,
would you?
good.
Me,
Even better.
for me,
Forget about it.
the
Out the
less the
window. Just,
better. Yeah, like,
just out the
I'm not
window.
collecting. I'm not collecting forms and stuff.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, and then another question came from agents. Does the property condition disclosure replace the inspection?
No.
No.
Why would it replace it?
No, I know. And then I was thinking and then talking with my broker, and I was like, oh wow, it could be a good idea to actually propose to have um, an inspection. You know how we've been offering inspections and paying for inspections for some of our sellers, like those
Yes.
pre-listing inspections.
Yes.
After having a long discussion about this, it came to my attention that, again, because of the new nature of the property condition disclosure, I would want to remove myself from liability. And
Mm,
therefore, because of that's going to be in place, I will not offer to pay for the property condition disclosure because I wouldn't want to be liable for mingling and basically recommending an inspector that would give maybe, I don't want to even be mentioned in part of
interesting.
meddling with the sellers and their stuff. I could work something else out, give them a credit at closing, like from my commission for that inspection, that pre-listing inspection they had. But I would want to be removed, unlike what I did before, just because we have that property condition disclosure right now. This is just my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I
No, I
didn't
didn't
think
think of
anything
it.
of
And
putting
then
two and two together.
in conversation, I was like, do I? Because if it's me offering the inspection with my
Uh,
inspector,
uh,
and like you've been doing that too, right? Like to
yeah,
make it
I
inspection to
offer.
the
Hey,
property,
look,
correct? You wanted to help, but I'm
100%.
like,
If we have to do a home inspection within the next 24 to 48 hours, there is no time. We have to call somebody.
right, no, but on the pre-listing, the
Oh, I'm sorry.
pre-listing
Sorry.
inspection,
Oh yeah, on the
you've never
pre-listing
done.
side, of course. I did
You've
actually.
done pre-listing
I did.
inspections
I
to
made
help.
recommendations, and I said, here, choose who you feel that will be best
I
fit.
know, but thinking about this new property condition disclosure and all the legal ramifications and the potential liability from the seller side and us representing the sellers in a lot of the cases, I'm like, let me just remove myself from that
Yeah, yeah.
altogether. So I will figure out other ways to help out because you still have some
I
properties where
mean,
they're not in
I
that great shape. And even though they're going to be sold as is, you still want to, of course, you're going to adjust your sales price, but it's always good to help the seller sell that property easier by giving some insight to the buyer of how old
mm,
whatever component of that house is going to last.
well, I would
That's
still. I mean, I
I won't
think
pay for it. I won't
I see what you're.
upfront pay for it and be the source. That's my point of my personal point of view. I'll change that. I'll have to again give a credit later at closing.
Okay.
Let that person do
I can
their
see
own
why.
thing, choose who they want. Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see why.
Mm-hmm.
Because chances are they're gonna want to have that inspector fill out the property form too, right? The property
No, they
data
can't.
form.
They can't. They can't. And those inspectors will not want to do it. Of course
They'll
not.
say no.
Huh?
Hell no. They're putting themselves
It's not going to
at
be
risk.
advisable. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You want to be
All right.
smart. You
Well,
don't want to be implicated in something that's gonna. Do you want to get sued left and right?
no, I
No,
don't.
exactly.
All
Exactly.
right.
So nobody has any questions today. That's amazing. But it's okay. You guys can put your questions in the comments later.
About
Oh, I don't. Is it my internet that is going
I think
nuts?
it's me, to be honest.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you hear me? Hello, mic check one
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. But if you guys have any questions in regards to this, go back to your board association, shoot us a text. We'll find some material to provide you with this. So you have the new property condition disclosure that's coming out May 20th. With that, at LIBOR, all your MLS forms, especially the exclusive right to sell form, also
Okay.
already available in your intranet and documents on demand on your LI Realtor tab. That exclusive right to sell has a modified paragraph for property condition disclosure, paragraph number
Mm,
17, making mention of the new disclosure, and this is how you're going to be able to discuss it with your seller while you're doing the listing agreement. That's it.
sounds good.
That's it.
I like it.
Yep.
All right. So we're good to go.
Yeah, we good to go.
Um,
Beautiful. I hope
did you,
are we gonna have a good weekend. We had a
oh, we sure
fantastic
are.
week of like spring weather. Wasn't
It felt
yesterday
that.
wonderful?
No, I mean it was, but then the day
Yeah.
before it was freezing in the morning.
Oh, in the morning, but then it was nice in the afternoon. I mean, I,
Then
I
it
don't
turned
know. I,
nice.
I,
Yeah.
I have 64 right now. I should play hockey today. Oh, then it's going
Hey,
down to. I wish I could play hockey. It's gonna go down to 69. Saturday,
nice.
58, Sunday 60. Oh, I'll do a lot of walking. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, enjoy your weekend. Do those open houses.
Make sure you attend those open houses and ask all those questions.
I know.
You
Don't
never know what
forget
you
to
might
have
learn.
all. Don't forget to have those disclosures signed as well.
Oh my
By the
god.
way, huh?
Speaking of disclosures, I gotta get some forms filled out.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. All right, guys.
All
Thank you
right.
for tuning in. We'll choose a lighter topic for next week, right?
Yeah, you scared them with this property
Oh, you
disclosure.
know
No,
what?
I'm
Wait,
kidding.
hold on. What is next week? Yes, I'll be around. Yes.
Next week is 7 days from now. Folks, enjoy your weekend. Thanks for tuning in. And like always,
No
peace
problem.
out.
Peace
Have a
out.
good weekend.
All right.
Go to the open
Music,
houses.
maestro. Music.
Here we go. DJ, mic check. Everett, mic check. 1 2.
Bye.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here
Bye.
we
Bye,
go.
Ed.
It's the
Bye.
weekend. Adios. Adios.